Sault Ste. Marie Conservation Authority said yesterday that a strong and moisture-laden storm system brought 60 to 70 millimeters of rainfall within a few hours in the afternoon. The forecasted rainfall overnight was 10 to 15 millimeters more, and then another 15 to 20 is expected. Currently, local rivers, creeks, and streams are flowing at above normal levels. Continued rainfall will cause levels and flows to rise, of course, across the watershed. There may be localized flooding in areas with poor drainage. The Conservation Authority is encouraging municipality and residents, specifically ones in low-lying areas and along shorelines, to monitor conditions and prepare accordingly. The city's Public Works is advising this morning that the storm system in many cases is at or beyond capacity due to significant rainfall in the area. There are a number of roadways which are flooded and are not passable. If at all possible, motorists are advised to stay off the roads at this time. Public Works is addressing flooding concerns, and further updates will be provided, of course, as they become available. And the PUC reported a power interruption affecting 404 customers in the Cathcart Street South area to Queen Street West and Huron Street West to West Street. Lightning strikes are believed to be the cause. Tens of thousands of education workers across the province began a Work to Rule campaign yesterday as confusion mounted about when their union and the government would return to the bargaining table. Education Minister Stephen Lecce said CUPE, which represents 55,000 custodians, clerical workers, and early childhood educators, had accepted a government offer of new mediation dates, and talks could resume as early as this week. But then hours later, the president of CUPE's Ontario School Board Council of Unions refuted Lecce's statement, saying no dates were offered and that the parties remained too far apart to return to the table. Justin Trudeau ventured into downtown Toronto yesterday to promote a Liberal crackdown on illegal handguns and assault rifles, while Conservative leader Andrew Scheer promised to broaden a federal tax credit for people with disabilities. Meanwhile, in Vancouver, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh spent his 7th straight day on the West Coast, promising to spend $10 billion over 4 years to establish 500,000 new childcare spots across Canada.
We are putting forward the strongest measures around gun control that Canada has seen in many, many years, because we know that stronger gun control is something that our communities need, something Canadians need, something Canadians expect to keep themselves and their families safe. I think this is something that we've been unfortunately seeing right across the country. The Conservative politicians want to weaken gun control, where we want to strengthen gun control. And that is at the heart of the choice that Canadians are facing in this upcoming election. Do we strengthen gun control in a way that will keep cities, communities, and Canadians safer, or do we weaken gun control?
Canadians saw yesterday exactly how life will get more expensive under a Justin Trudeau government. Higher taxes, endless deficits, bigger bills, less money in your pockets. That is the exact same platform as Kathleen Wynne, but with canoes. That's what we saw yesterday. Less than half of the promises even costed. I don't even know if you can call that a platform.
Our commitment is this. We want to put forward $10 billion over the next 4 years to build 500,000 new affordable childcare spots, licensed childcare spots across this country, because 1 in 4 kids under 6 have childcare, but that means 3 out of 4 kids do not. This is really difficult for so many families and so many kids. So we want to change that. We want to make real investments. We also want to move to make sure that this childcare that we're going to develop is protected in law with quality, with legislation at the federal level that ensures that it's protected in law, that it's high quality, that it's affordable. Our goal is to make sure that no kid goes without childcare, that every family gets the childcare they need. That's my commitment to you, and together we can make that happen.
Police in Hong Kong used pepper spray to break up a brief scuffle today between pro-Beijing protesters and a small group of pro-democracy protesters as the latter began to march on the 70th anniversary of the founding of Communist China. The morning march came as the government held an annual ceremony to mark the anniversary of Communist Party rule and mark the start of what is expected to be a day of protest demanding democratic reforms in the semi-autonomous territory. Police tried to keep the two groups apart, but some minor scuffles did ensue. Two pro-Beijing protesters were arrested. The government has mounted tight security around the city to thwart violence amid rallies planned in multiple locations, including a major march in central Hong Kong that would embarrass Chinese President Xi Jinping. Protesters call for October 1st to be marked as a day of grief. Ottawa police say an officer has been suspended from service after being charged with 2 counts of sexual assault. The officer is facing numerous charges that include aggravated assault, 2 counts of forcible confinement, and distributing an intimate image without consent. Investigators say the charges relate to domestic incidents that occurred off-duty between 2015 and 18. The officer's name was not released to protect the identity of the alleged victim. The charges were laid yesterday, and the officer was released on a promise to appear.